that's where you're wrong. There's a market out there greedy for gold, and they don't care where it comes from.
The sweet smell of an all-day sucker.
Keep a cool head, Carlberg. Don't you need? And more would be great. Well, I guess you could call me greedy.
This is Greedville, the podcast about marketing and so much more. No city limits, no traffic lights, no apologies. And here is your host, Victor J. Masord.
Today on Greedville, we're going to talk about wealth and power and the source of wealth and power. I won't tell you what that source is because I'm going to turn it over to one of my students, Margaret Davis, who covered this chapter of Think and Grow Rich in a recent class. I think it went quite well, and I think she did a very thorough job of covering the source of wealth and power. So I'll let you look at the video and discover it for yourself. I do think that if you're a young person and you're looking for direction, trying to find some answers as to what you should be doing right now to prepare yourself for your future, I think you'll find this video to be enlightening, helpful maybe. So take a look at it. I think it's something you'll relate to. And welcome to Greedville.
All right. So, hi. Your name is Jack?
Yep.
All right. So, in the thing, it said John, so I got confused a bit.
That's my legal name, but I go by Jack.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm Margaret. It's nice to meet you. How are you doing?
I'm doing very good. How are you?
Good. Is this your first class today?
No, this is my second. I have a 9 a.m. unfortunately.
So do I, but I had to skip it to do this.
That's understandable.
Yeah. So today I'm going to talk about chapter 5, not chapter 4, and I'm going to talk about specialized knowledge in the next step of thinking and becoming rich. Is that something you'd be interested in?
Most definitely.
All right, perfect. So I'm gonna, how do I do this? Okay. So what is knowledge?
I'd say that's what you know. I mean, I know it's kind of in the name, but what information you have on things.
Okay, so how do you acquire knowledge then?
Being taught or having different experiences in life.
Okay, so like going through different things and like learning things too?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Because you have this knowledge, does that mean you're smart? Like say someone has all the knowledge in the world, are they considered smart to you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say so, definitely.
Okay. So knowledge, as Napoleon Hill talks about, is only potential power if it's specialized. So what specialized knowledge is it's more towards your passion or your goal that you want in life, whereas general knowledge has little use in accumulating money. So knowledge itself won't attract money unless you have plans with an end result of money. So what is power to you?
That's a good question.
Like,
I guess
what do you define it as?
Maybe influence, or I don't like to use the word, but like control over people. Like you have, like, I don't know, something like that.
Okay, yeah. So how do you get power then? Like, you can give me an example if that helps.
I mean, just like an easy thing is like the president, like people vote you into power.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of all that's coming to mind right now.
Can you have power even if you're not in a powerful position?
I would say so, yeah.
Okay. Do you think then power is a good thing or a bad thing?
depends how you use it. Some people can let it go to their head and make stupid decisions, but if you use it correctly, you're gonna get somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, how Napoleon Hill states is that specialized knowledge is obtained with power. So having that kind of extra boost is going to help you get rich.
Okay.
So do you think you're smart? We just talked about knowledge. Do you think you're smart and you have knowledge?
At this point, yeah, I got a little knowledge. I think I'm decently intelligent.
On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, what would you say how smart you are?
Maybe like a 6 or a 7,
Okay.
slightly
So
above average.
yeah, why do you think that though?
I guess just from like past grades maybe and how far I've come in my academic career, I'm like, kind of confident in my ability, my knowledge.
So you're telling me that grades determines whether you're smart or not.
That's how I view it, but it's not everything. That's just kind of like my initial, like what I think of when I think of smarts, because obviously, in college and that's what's all around me.
Yeah.
But someone's saying no.
All right. Yeah. Thanks for that. So does that then, you say you're a 6 or 7, does that limit you from doing new things then? Because you don't think you're book smart based on grades? Like if you wanted to, I don't know, say you're doing a presentation, would you be less confident because you think you're only a 6 of how smart you are?
Probably subconsciously, like probably in the back of my mind, but
Mhm.
like, yeah, I don't think like I would like negatively think of like a presentation or be scared because I'm not the smartest person in the world. But I
Yeah.
think subconsciously it probably affects me. Yeah.
Yeah. So like even if like you're taking a test and you're about to study for it, would you study more or less because you think you're going to do badly?
Um, I mean, I would definitely say study more
Study
because like
more.
you're probably less confident in your ability, so you want to get every advantage you can get.
Yeah, so I have kind of like an example of this that's kind of people shocked by it. So in high school, I was pretty considered dumb. Um, I was in honors classes, but I went to Parkland High School, and the kids who I was in class with are now at Harvard and UPenn and perfect SAT scores. And there was me like getting a B plus, thinking, wow, you're dumb. So I really think that how you said that it influences you thinking you're only a 6 or a 7, that's really not how you should perceive yourself. Because now in college, like I'm doing 10 times better than I was in high school.
Mm,
And I thought I was dumb, and that made me want to like continue being dumb, if that makes sense.
yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. So now I'm going to go on to, do you think if you have a degree, you're smarter than another person who doesn't? Like,
That's
do like
tricky.
a bachelor's from someone who doesn't have a degree at all.
I mean, I would say a little bit because, like, you've been through college and you've been getting knowledge on, kind of how to prepare for the jobs and stuff. So I'd say, yeah, slightly.
Okay, so what if someone has a PhD and someone doesn't have a degree at all? Would you say who's smarter?
I'd say the person with the PhD.
Okay. Then what about someone who's in a trade school and someone who just has a bachelor degree?
They're both smart in different areas.
Okay. What about if they're in trade school and someone who has a PhD?
I still think it's different areas because if you have a PhD, sure, you're like, I don't know, you can do a lot of things, but might not be able to fix a pipe or change,
Yeah.
fix electric or whatever. So I don't think knowledge is like the person with the PhD is occupying all the knowledge. There's different, sections of knowledge for people to have.
Okay. So you're reiterating my point again that you think you're dumb because of schooling. A person who has a PhD and someone who dropped out of high school, they could be the same level of smart because they still have the same resources to be smart. Like, for example, Thomas Edison, Napoleon Hill talks about, only had 3 months of schooling, and he did not have much education after that. And did he die poor? Definitely not. Like, that's a big example of how just because you have education doesn't mean you're going to go someplace. Henry Ford also didn't have any schooling, and now Ford Motors is one of the biggest companies.
Mhm.
So I don't think you should let inferiority of schooling affect you. And that's something I'm going to try and convince you of here. All right. So do you think then you'll ever stop learning?
Mm.
Is that because you want to, or because you're going to keep going to school?
I think you always, get new knowledge, new experiences in life, so it's never gonna stop.
So do you think then there's like a capstone, an end to knowledge?
No.
No, good. Okay. So I'm going to ask you then, what is your goal in life? Like, what is your passion? What is your end, your zenith? What is that for you?
That is a loaded question. That was a good question though.
So yeah, go ahead. Go in detail.
I'm still trying to figure that out. I'm sure that's not the answer you're looking for, but I mean, literally, like, as just a kind of very basic thing without any details, just be well off enough to like support myself. And, if I were to start a family, then support them too.
So do you have like a dream passion or job that you see yourself in?
Uh, no, not
No,
yet. Not
none.
yet.
What's your major at least?
I am business marketing.
Okay. So let's say you're a marketer. Do you think that you'll want to keep learning about marketing? Like, do you like marketing? Do you want to keep learning about it? Or are you just like, nah?
No, I definitely want to keep learning about it. Yeah.
Okay. Do you think then there is like an end, like we talked about, to marketing? Like, do you think you will ever know 100% of the knowledge in marketing?
No.
Okay. So one thing that Napoleon Hill talks about is that successful people will never stop learning about their major purpose or their business profession. So to keep doing this and learning, you're going to keep going to where you want to be. And the way to success is that continuous pursuit of the specialized knowledge, not the general knowledge. So you could learn like about math and science for days, but it doesn't matter when it comes to marketing, obviously.
Yeah.
So do you know then the phrase jack of all trades, master of none?
I do.
What does that mean?
It means you can like be good, kind of good at a bunch of things, but you're not like really good to where it's like, I wouldn't say useful, but like you're not really good at one specific thing. Like you can be good at a bunch of different things where, whatever.
So is that something you won or no?
I mean, I feel like no, I feel like you'd want to be good, like really good at one thing and kind of be good at a few other things, but
Yeah.
having little knowledge in a bunch of things, I feel like isn't good.
Yeah, exactly. You want to be a master of one thing. You don't want to be master of none. Like, you don't want that general knowledge of everything. So that's not going to be okay when you're going to succeed and become rich. You have that specialized knowledge that we talked about. Sorry. Okay. So another thing I wanted to talk about then is, so we're in the pandemic right now and people can't find a job, right? So let's say a baker decided he was going to go get a job as, a salesman. Do you think he would succeed as well as doing his own profession?
I don't know. I mean, are you talking about like now in terms of the pandemic?
Yeah, like let's say a baker decided today that he was going to quit his baking job because there was no money there, and he was going to become a salesman for medical products.
I want to say probably not.
Probably not. Yeah, exactly. But if he became a baker and maybe, let's say he adapted, he made a new idea, he sorry if you can hear that noise. He became a baker with a delivery service for COVID. Do you think he'd be more successful doing the delivery service as like a brand new idea, starting from the bottom, or just going into a mid-rise job as a salesperson?
I'd say he'd probably be more successful with the delivery.
Okay. So then I'm going to ask you, have you failed at something?
Oh, definitely. I can't think of one specific thing right now, but yeah, I have. A few classes.
Few classes, yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever gotten then like in a rut?
Like how so? Like mentally, like, or
It could be both. Like let's say you know, wake up late every day, don't go to class, don't study.
definitely. That was
Definitely
my first semester at college. I was just like terrible student.
trying to like adjust.
Yeah, I saw that senioritis going on.
So was that difficult then to get out of for you?
100%.
Why?
I think because I was used to it. You know, like I was like, obviously it was easier for me like to just sleep in and not go to class, which was, you know, difficult. And I kind of had to get into a mindset. And I was just like, holy crap, I'm wasting my money and my time. So I kind of had to like reprogram myself to like, you know, do
Yeah.
good, basically do well and like try for this class and stuff.
So how long do you think it took you to get out of that? Like when did you realize that you need to get out of the rut?
2 more semesters.
Okay, yeah, so like a long time. Like
Yeah,
you had
yeah,
to really work at that.
yeah.
All right. So yeah, the reason why you couldn't get out of that is because, like you said, it was a habit. You
Mhm.
kept doing it because why not? It was every day. It was just what you did. So does that mean you're gonna stay in that place? No, because you finally decided that you can control it and that you actually wanted to control it.
Mhm.
So what Napoleon talks about is that we're gonna rise or fall to our positions, whether we're at the bottom or not. And that's all up to us. So you can have all this knowledge right now and you could do nothing with it. But you could also go and do something with this specialized knowledge.
Yeah,
So one thing I'm going to ask you then, do you brush your teeth every day?
I do.
Do you do it twice a day?
I do.
Why do you do it?
Um, well, you know, it's clean, and I was taught that's what you do, you know, when you wake up and before bed every day. It's just
So yeah, is it because it was taught by you, or is it because you now tell yourself?
um, I mean, both, I guess. Obviously, I want to, you know, be clean, have a clean
Yeah.
mouth and everything, but you know, it was just taught to me as a kid, and I just, you know, obviously been doing it my entire life.
Yeah, it's your habit now. Just like you had the rut, you can now brush your teeth for a beneficial way every day too. So success and failure are kind of like that as well. So let's say you studied, like you said, you weren't studying, you weren't going to class. You studied for an hour every day for the next month. Would you get better grades?
Yes,
Okay. What if you only studied for 1 hour once a week? How would the grades be then? Less or better?
probably worse.
Probably worse, yeah. So now what if you did this with the specialized knowledge you're going to learn about marketing? What if you studied 1 hour every day? You repeated that, you kept learning about it. How would you do?
You get better at it.
Exactly. So that's how Napoleon Hill says you got to keep pushing yourself, and we have the complete control of this specialized knowledge. As long as you want to take those steps and believe in yourself, you can and you will be successful.
Okay.
And that is it.
Sweet.
Did I convince you?
Absolutely. I think you did a very good job.
Perfect. Thank you.
Carlos, do you have a question for Margaret?
Yeah, just referring to the one slide where she mentioned you didn't have, or you're better off not having general knowledge about a topic or in a field, but rather have
Which slide?
Yeah, which slide?
I do not remember which slide, but it's when you said. I just want to go back to it to like get more details on it. Where you said in the book, he said that it's better to be specific when learning something than have to have broad or general knowledge about like everything.
Mm-hmm.
Can you go back to that one?
I'm guessing it's this one. Just
Yes, like can you say that quote again? Because I didn't clearly like get it all. So I just want to.
about the jack of all trades thing.
the jack of all trades thing. This one.
Yeah, can you go one more slide?
This one.
I think it's above that. I think it's below. I think it came before that. Keep going, back up. Nope, I guess that's it.
Yeah.
I guess you must have said something.
Yeah, I must. I don't.
So, Corollas, what is your question specifically?
So, I mean, if I heard her right, she said it's better to be knowledgeable in something specifically than to have general information about a lot of little things, right?
Right.
Yes, that's what Napoleon said.
Does that mean general education classes that we're taking at college are kind of pointless?
To a point, yes. I mean, you can definitely use math. Say you're starting a business to help you, but you're better off learning about what you want to do specifically than learning about everything generally.
So that's literally gen eds in college.
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure I heard that right. That's all.
Yeah, that could be an example. Yeah.
Can I expand on that answer, Margaret?
Yeah, go ahead.
I would say you're opening a big can of worms there.
Yeah.
Because in academia, we talk about this a lot. How much do we really want to have students have this general education versus how much they should have the specialized in their major? And, people, those of us that tend to teach upper level students and graduate students in specialized knowledge, we think that they'd probably be better off with more accounting classes than more English classes for sure. But it's a big argument that goes on.
Yeah.
I will say, there is a bit, and the counter argument is specialized knowledge is required to accumulate wealth. Okay. However, generalized knowledge to a certain extent is required to be a happy, productive person in general. So, if you want to be somebody who can socialize at parties and discuss a range of different subjects with people, if you want to see the world from multiple perspectives as you ponder, the universe and think about your existence and why you're here and what it's about, generalized knowledge is good for those things. And being exposed to things like, say, Robert Frost or Emily Dickinson, or, I mean, to me, those things are delightful and they're wonderful things to have exposed myself to. However, they didn't help me get wealthy. And Napoleon Hill is basically talking about what do you need to know to get wealthy? And the answer to that question is specialized knowledge. But that's not to denigrate general knowledge so much. But if you had a finite amount of time and wealth was your goal, then specialized knowledge is better than general knowledge. Does that make sense, Corollas?
Yeah, thank you.
So, Margaret, let me ask you this question. We only have a few minutes, so we'll just finish on this chapter. Is marketing in and of itself specialized knowledge?
No.
No, I mean, millions and millions of people know the fundamentals of marketing, right? So how do you turn the knowledge that you have in marketing into specialized knowledge?
you pick a field. So whether it's advertising or whatever. I was just using Jack's example because that's what he said. He was a marketing major.
Right, right. But yeah, but I think it's a valid point.
Mhm.
Marketing is not enough.
Yeah.
It's too general. Yes, learning all the paradigms and so forth will get you to think like, say, a marketing manager thinks. But you have to have specific knowledge in a general area. But we don't give you that within the field of marketing. We assume you'll get it after you graduate. So you'll have the understanding of basic paradigms in marketing, the way we think about the world and how marketing functions. And then when you go into a business, you'll get this specialized knowledge of that particular business, how they operate, what their product is about, and so forth. And you will get the specialized knowledge of their products, their product line, their way of doing business, and so forth and so on. That's the assumption. Is there a way you can prepare yourself with more specialized knowledge while you are a student, Margaret?
Yeah, you can take like special classes. I think he talks about.
Right.
Or learn experience maybe from internships, stuff like that.
Right. So an internship would be one way for sure. But you can think in terms of positioning yourself with a skill set that is unique in the marketplace so that you will be better positioned for certain types of jobs because you'll be the only person that they're interviewing with that particular skill set. So, for example, you can prepare yourself to speak a language. I think I've already mentioned Chinese and marketing. Somebody that was really proficient in both things could really write their own ticket once they graduate because there aren't that many people that know Chinese and marketing, and there's a big demand for people that know both that know both of those things. Spanish and marketing, similar, maybe not as strong, but still similar. So if you have a Hispanic background or you were raised speaking Spanish, I would try to leverage that into a career. There are some fields like that people don't often think about that I think are going to be very much in demand. I think, for example, criminal justice and marketing is a good area to go into. Margaret, do you know why?
Mm-mm.
Do you think the world is going to be more safe in the next 45 years of your career, or do you think the world is going to be less safe in the next 45 years of your career?
Probably less.
Much less safe. The rich are getting richer, the poor are getting poorer. That's a fact. And it's not just a fact in the United States, it's a fact throughout the world, which means as the poor get poorer, what's going to happen?
The rich get richer.
And the rich get richer. What else is going to happen? More and more poor people are going to resort to crime?
Yeah.
Yes. Does this mean that the supply chains are going to be safer or that the supply chains are going to be less safe as time goes on?
Less safe.
Less safe. And so how are companies going to protect their supply chains?
By marketing to them.
They're going to pay, right? They're going to have to find people who can protect their supply chains and pay them to do it, right? And so therefore there's going to be a big market for people who sell supply chain protection. And who knows about supply chain protection? People that know about criminal justice and people who know about marketing. So and there aren't that many people that major in marketing and minor in criminal justice or vice versa, right? So that's a very strong area, I believe, as the future, as you move into the future. So that's what you're looking for. You're looking for that little niche where there's going to be big demand for your knowledge, for your specialized knowledge that other people don't see, right? And that's really where how you can position yourself as a student. Look into those kinds of areas. And if you think about it, there's lots of them out there. When you look at the various miners that are available to you at Kutztown, you'll find lots and lots of different areas that, if you think about it, gosh, there's going to be a big demand for this, for people that have this knowledge set as time goes on. Because that's really the only thing you can do while you're in college, is to prepare your mind for when you do get into the real world. So there's a smart way to prepare your mind, and then there's a not so smart way to prepare your mind. But the smart way is to think in terms of 4 things that you need to know that are generalized, that you don't know about yourself. And I think, Garrett, you said this. No, it wasn't you. It was Jack. You said, I'm still trying to figure that out. Right? So and figuring that out comes down to 4 things that you do not know yet. You don't know, Jack, what you like, and you don't know what you don't like. You know some things, but you don't know everything, right?
That's true.
You don't yet know what you're good at, and you don't yet know what you're bad at, right? And for me, I didn't know those 4 things until I was well into my mid-30s. So don't feel bad about it. I scraped along, but until you know those 4 things and know them in great detail, what do I like? What do I don't like? What am I good at? What am I not good at? Till you know those 4 things, it's going to be very, very difficult for you to pursue, wealth and a career and specialized knowledge. But we expect you to know it because you have to pick a major and you have to pick a minor and so forth.
Yeah.
So the one thing that you do, you want to try to match as much as possible your career into, this is what I like and this is what I'm good at, right? I didn't know that till I was in my mid-30s. Once I did know that, I chose college professor because I knew I liked to communicate with people and I knew I was good at going to college. So in any event, the good news for you and most everybody else who is your age and in college is that you're probably going to fail at everything in your 20s because you don't know those 4 things and you're trying to figure them out. But it's also good news that you do fail because you're going to learn every time you fail. Okay, well, that's one thing I'm not good at. Next thing, right? Like when I was in my 20s, I figured out I wasn't good at golf. I loved it. I liked it, but I wasn't good enough to be a professional, right? So I had to basically pick myself up and figure out, okay, what am I good at? Good enough to make money at it.
Yeah.
All right. I guess we'll leave it there. But you're going to fail at everything, and you should fail at everything in your 20s. And then in your mid-30s sometime, you should figure out, okay, this is the thing I'm good at and like and can make money at. And then in your 40s, you'll start making money at it. So that's basically the way it works.
That's where you're wrong. There's a market out there greedy for gold, and they don't care where it comes from.
The sweet smell of an all-day sucker.
Keep a cool head, Carlberg. Don't you need? And more would be great. Well, I guess you could call me greedy.
This is Greedville, the podcast about marketing and so much more. No city limits, no traffic lights, no apologies.